How do you replace cello strings properly and safely? Today, you're going to learn the process. First, we need to loosen the pegs. And I'm going to demonstrate this in a way that most of us would in concert or in orchestra with the cello on our lap. So let's zoom in and look at these little detailed movements. I will be using Larsen strings on my cello, mediums made in Denmark, in my opinion, the best strings you can place on your cello. They come with a wax seal, so you know you are receiving a genuine Larsen string. Do not purchase it without the wax seal. In here we have an indicator as to what the strings are. Take note of the second section here. I have this string, and this string is the chrome version. This is the second string, the Ré. So I will be replacing my A, my D, and my G, my La, Ré, Sol. So here we are back at the top, and we're going to loosen it, and it's going to possibly spin a little. See that spin? That's okay. You're fully loose. You can either remove it here or remove it at the tailpiece. It doesn't matter. But I suggest keeping the other strings taut. Okay? So now that we have this loose, grab it with the other hand. Here I am with the right hand. And pull it out like this. So here's the G string. I'm taking it out. Here we have the string off, and you see a telltale sign of use. The winding right here, it's a bit frayed, and so that is something showing that the string has been on the cello for quite some time. Now let's replace this string. I will be using the soloist edition of the Larsens, wonderful string, and again, only buy it if it has an unbroken seal. It hasn't been opened, it's just been, cracked a little bit. So I'm going to open this. This is what it looks like on the inside of a Larsen string. It comes hermetically sealed. I've always wanted to use that word. And I guess that's what it looks like. And so a second stage is to open it up. Again, all Larsen strings are sold with this symbol. This is a G string, hence it has copper. See that? For Sol, that's important. The ball tells you what type of string it is. Here's a cello peg, and on some cellos you have two holes right here. I suggest using the one that is already used on your cello. So for my cello, it's this hole here. You need to bend the tip of your string with your peg. Put it into the hole with a little bit of clearance, and then turn the peg. And when you do that, you produce a bend in the string. And that should be sufficient. Now push the peg back into the peg box and apply the string. Here's our string. It's already pre-bent. I will apply it into the hole, and you want to hold it there with one finger and then turn and just guide it with this other hand as you're turning. Now, as you see what I'm doing, I'm actually pulling this direction and turning. So I'm putting tension on it. Pull it nice and taut with one hand, and then slowly rotating in with the other hand. And Larsen gives you these markers. See this part where it's green right here where it's green. So once you pass that point where it's green, that's where you should go to the other side of your cello. At this point, you're going to have to keep both hands on the string. One hand has to be pulling taut, and the other hand has to go to the other side of the cello and apply the string on the fine tuner side. Pulling it nice and taut and pushing it deep into your little holder. Notice what I'm doing with one finger. I'm pushing in, and with this hand, I'm always keeping it nice and taut. By this point, you have safely secured your string to the tailpiece. You have kept it taut with one hand that whole time, and now you need to tighten the string properly. So keeping it taut at all times, you see this? You want to then turn the cello peg all the way in, and at the very end, you want to push in. It's essential. I want to turn this way. You push in. Now you don't want to turn too much. be plucking your instrument, have your tuner on the stand next to you. This is at an F, so turn in a little bit more, get it close. F sharp is fine for a G. And that is how you apply the string. It's that simple. Now I'm going to do the A and D. This is my favorite part of replacing strings, breaking that seal. You don't have to. There's actually a little piece you can just rip off. This is why you should string it in order. And I didn't do that. I just chose a random order. But you should do the A first if you're doing multiple strings. Because then this happens. I twisted it around. So I have to just replace it down here. I wanted to rush to the process. And that's what happens when you rush. Take your time. These are expensive strings. If you have seen the price of a set of Larsens, you would know that breaking these strings is something you don't want to do. Slowly adjust the strings. Quarter, eighth turns even. Eighth turn. Take it to a high G sharp. My suggestion is to loosen up your tailpiece fine tuners because you have now done a full rework. So just loosen them completely until they are totally loose. And then proceed to get as close as possible with your strings using the pegs. Always pushing in and turning. If it's a little flat, it's okay. You want to leave it a little flat so you can then rotate and adjust at the fine tuners. That was really tough to do. Not easy when you're doing on camera. They will start to detune a little bit. It's just the way it is. Tune them a little bit high because they're stretching. Today's lesson is over, but you can still continue watching videos here on my side that is more appropriate for you. I appreciate your time and including the channel on your journey of music discovery.